Yo, what's up guys? It's Yellowfin, and we are going to be trying to win the Ram 1500 Rebel and also the Carbon Fiber Pack from the ARC Challenge, March, Veterans, and also Beginners challenges. So yeah, we're playing both challenges, and we'll have a Carbon Fiber and the Ram in this video. And so yeah, let's just make our way through these rounds and show you guys the hands that I used to get through them. Some of these rounds were rather tricky, like this is an interesting one where they're throwing a 3-2-3 maxed out roof at us. But they also put that Twizzy then on City Street Small, so you are able to get back a ton of points then that you might lose. Plus the Lotus only loses, I think, like 90. We'll see in a second when it races. But yeah, so I'm happy I'll be able to win this Ram just because it's a new prize car. And it's not too bad of one as well. It's basically just a better version of my prize car Hummer H3T. So I'll probably max it out and I might get some use like in the US Daily event or something. But it's also just a car that I'd like to keep too because it gets me closer to finishing the brand of Ram. I just need the epic prize car and then I'd collect the other cars then. But the epic prize car is going to be a tough one to get, especially because they released it not too long ago. So that's going to be released in a while then. But hopefully then by the time it's released, I'll have a good enough garage to be able to win it pretty easily then without worry. That's kind of what I'm hoping with the Subaru Impreza Group A as well. Or not Group A. I don't know, the Subaru Impreza rally car. I'm hoping by the time it's released, I just have a good enough garage where basically I'd have the prize car, have very high chances of getting the prize car. But yeah, so this is an interesting round because we see the Nissan Violet being used on that rallycross circuit. I'm not sure if I skipped the match though. I think I did, so we aren't even going to get to see it race, but it is interesting. It was at 222 is the spec that it was at, if you'd like to go back and see what the stats it was at before. It's just it's a lower tier rally car pretty much. It's one that I don't really think it would be very good, but it would be interesting because it is cheaper. It's only like 42 RQ I think, while most rally cars are 49 and 48 in the game. So it could be pretty useful just to be a nice RQ saver for rally, or where you don't have to go as high then in your RQ if you need to use something with off-road tires. So it's still, I can see it still being a pretty useful car, considering most good off-road tire cars are 49 and 48 RQ, or you have to go all the way low with the Ford Escort rally spec, which is 39 RQ, but sometimes you can't do that if it's like super rare only requirements. But this is an interesting round where they threw 5 Subaru Imprezas at us of the RB320s, and they used 5 of them, but they put one on the dirt slalom test in the rain, so we're gonna, it's a pretty easy round then, as long as you have a decently good car you're using on that track. Because even if you lose a few, you're going to get a ton of bonus points. Like, as you can see, I use the Nissan Frontier Attack, and it'll get a ton of bonus points right now. As you can see, it'll get like 200 something, I think. Yeah, 270. Like, that's plenty of bonus points. And you could easily beat some of the other ones with just lower tier cars. Like, I just used my Stagea to lose by only 50, and I was able to save RQ with it, so I can use cars like the Nissan Frontier Attack. And so this round was a tricky one. These last 3 rounds were rather difficult. I had to switch up my hand quite a bit and also figure out what would work and what couldn't work, because the RQ is a little narrow. This one wasn't as bad. It's just you do have to take a loss from the 911 Carrera 4, and the Legacy lost by 57. But it's just sort of figuring out what you can use and what you can't use. The Stagea is still very key because it can win that twisty road. Then the Circuit EV, I know you can go much lower too on this hairpin road. Like the Circuit EV won by a whole second 86th. So you could probably go a bit lower in RQ, but then I used my Q50S and it managed to get enough points. So it's just an interesting round of figuring out what works and what doesn't work of getting you enough points. Then this one was also kind of tricky, but that was more just because I was scared of the standard tire cars they were throwing at us. But right once I figured out what cars I could win and what cars couldn't win, or like what cars had the better enough stats to be able to win, then it worked out. Because with having to use 4 Japan Pro Tour cars, it gets a bit interesting with what you can fit and what you can't really fit. So Impreza wins here, which is good, and it's because also a lot of the JPT cars don't, like the standard tire ones are kind of lacking grip. A lot of them are. So unless you have the 4-wheel drive standard tire ones, which I have the one, but I have it stock, so it's not really very helpful then when I have it stock. But luckily I was able to figure out a different way to use just my different other cars. And I'm also kind of lacking a Performance Tire 48 RQ JPT car. I'm not even sure if it exists, but if it does, I'll wishlist it because I kind of needed a 48 RQ performance car for this challenge. So, from the JPT brand. So if there is, then I'll wishlist it, but I'm not too sure. I can't really think of one off the top of my head right now. But yeah, so Forester also being useful then, able to beat the Imperial Concept. The Imperial Concept just seems like such an underwhelming car. I do want the Silverado SS though. That car's been on my wish list for a while and I still haven't been able to pull one. But then that one will be maxed out. I missed out on the Chrysler 300 Motown Edition, which we're going up against now. That was from last year's ARC Challenge, and I was unable to get it. Luckily, I was able to get the Vauxhall Forenza, though, which was the next prize up. So yeah, basically my goal right now with prize cars is just trying to collect as many of them as I can, because I'm starting to just lead into collecting a bunch of cars that I like, or just collecting in general. Oops, we accidentally clicked on KT Play, but there we go, that was the Ram back there. So we've got that done, and so this round's a very easy one, but I've been leaning towards collecting cars now. I've been wanting to just collect a bunch of cars, max them out, and fill up brands pretty much. Right once I completed Plymouth, now I'm working on completing Rover. And then there's other brands that I just do want to collect more cars from and have just a very, very large garage and completing as many brands or getting lots of progress on brands as I can. That's just sort of what I've started to lean into instead of like working on just having like very strong maxed out legendaries. I've been working on more collecting cars instead, and I found it a bit more fun because then I can keep a bunch of random epics that I'd like to keep or ultra rares that I'd like to keep. And really, only ultra rares I got in my fuse pile now are just duplicates pretty much, and I'll just be saving those for a final or something when I need to max out a car. So the ultra rare pile will just eventually keep on slowly building up, or I'm not going to keep like random RQ19 BMWs right now because I do still have a bunch of ultra rares epics that I need to max out. And I still have a lot of ultra rare projects that are good ultra rare projects that I'd like to work on. But here we go, ceramic pack now, and then I'll continue what I was saying. And it's a Renault Sport Clio, so no, that'll be fuse. I don't think I need to, like with collecting right now, I'm just working on collecting everything that could be useful or potentially useful in the future that could win me a ceramic pack or something. Like I'm not going out of my way to collect junk unless it's like to actually complete a brand like with Plymouth or Rover. Even though they all sort of have their use sometimes. All cars sort of have their use sometimes, but I'm not keeping like crappy super rares or crappy ultra rares right now, or really crappy epics. Like if I get any like bad epics, then I'll fuse them away. If I get one that's just like utterly useless, but any epics I see a bit of potential in, I've been keeping them. Same goes for the ultra rares. Like I'm not keeping any RQ19 BMWs or any cars that really I don't see any potential in right now. But eventually, after I've collected all the other ultra rares that I want, and my duplicate numbers have gotten bigger, then I'll start keeping more of the lower tier ultra rares as well. It's just a very long process, but a process that I'm sort of enjoying, and it'll eventually lead to more pack openings where I want to just keep more cars. So I'll probably start actually saving up for the 500k pack opening now. I'll probably open up a ceramic pack first because we're getting near the number for a ceramic pack. But then after that, I'll start saving up for a 500k pack opening because I would like to get some new cars to just keep and work on. And also some cars to put fuses into too. But I'll first probably save up a bit more cash just to put a fuse into my ultra rare, and then I'll start saving up for 500k. And so yeah, here we go. This is the carbon fiber round though. So let's see if maybe we can get an ultra rare that we'd like to keep from this carbon fiber. Especially since what I was just talking about, there's a lot of cars that I'd like to get from this pack. I have a lot of wishlisted ultra rares. I've got a lot of epics or legendaries too that I'd be happy with. So epic or legendary would be nice, but really I'd just be fine with an ultra rare that I'd be happy to keep. Like that legacy, I'd keep that legacy if I got it. So we just have to see. Hopefully we can get lucky. So let's just watch this last round now, which is the Forester against the Bluebird. That's the car I was talking about that I had stock, so it wasn't very useful. It's a Nissan Bluebird. Okay, carbon fiber time. Let's see what we can get. So, Mercedes-Benz A200, Bentley Arnage, Mercedes 190 Evo, Chrysler, and oh, that's going to be fused. That is not a ultra rare that I really see much potential in, but let's open the ceramic pack. Maybe we can get something that does have a bit of potential. So let's see. Ceramic pack time now. We will see what we can get. Volkswagen Touran, Fiat Stilo. I've been wanting that one. Okay, Dodge, and ooh, okay. Now that's a car I actually do see a bit of potential in. The Nissan 350Z Roadster. I think it was 350Z. And so yeah, that's not too bad of one. I'll actually probably look into keeping that. So yeah, let's add that Z to, or is the 370Z actually, okay. But yeah, so let's add that to the garage, and then let's check out the prize cars, because we've got our new edition of the Ram 1500 Rebel. Pretty nice one. It is basically just a better version of the Hummer H3T and a cheaper version of the GMC or the Chevy Colorado. So that's pretty nice. And in RAM, I've got 2 out of the 6. But I'll work on keeping the other ones if at some point I am able to get the RAM TRX. But that'll probably be in a while. So yeah, that's going to be concluding it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that cool stuff. I'm Yellowfin. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.